Good morning, and today's subject is you. Something about planning, something about looking to your past, learning from your past, getting some things ready, the beginning stages of a plan. The next card we have is the Hermit, and the Hermit has to do with spending time alone, looking within yourself, being guided by from yourself, right? The other card we have is the Ace of Wands, and that's about a new beginning, a new venture, new energy. Then we have the Queen of Pentacles. Maybe you're a working parent or you're trying to birth something into your life. Something's going on with your life, some adjustment, and we're going to get into that, all right? The overall energy is the Page of Pentacles. That's about obviously investing in yourself, maybe a message, something about money. So let's get started with the Two of Wands. So something about planning, right? Something about looking to your past. So the Wands is about fire, okay? The Suit of Wands represents passion. There's a passion you have, right? There's some sort of inspiration. Or maybe you have a strong willpower. The Wands imbue their users with primal energy, for it is through them that the cycle of creation can begin. So there's something happening, all right? Something you're going to create because of their abilities to bring energy into any situation. They're also associated with action, ambition, and making plans. Like I said, at their worst, they can refer to situations that are filled with recklessness and lack of direction. Sometimes I face that too. I think all of us do, but we're talking about you, right? As you follow the journey within the Wands, you'll come across these themes again and again. Maybe this is something that you've been following or something that's been happening again and again. And maybe it's time for you to learn from whatever's going on in your life, right? Like I had to also look at my life, right? And look at some of the patterns that were in my life at the time. Maybe there were some mistakes that I kept making that I corrected. You know, it takes a lot of energy to really get a hold of yourself. And maybe this message here is telling you it's time for you to look at yourself, you know, and it's going to be an uphill battle, but you will love yourself more for it at the end. Trust me, believe me, been there, done that. All right. So something about planning, like I said, right? Taking your first steps. There's some decisions that you're making. Maybe it's time for you to leave your comfort zone. And I had to leave my comfort zone to get different results in life. And maybe that is what you are trying to do, but maybe you just need a little bit of guidance. So I'm going to put this other Two of Wands up here because it's going to be describing something here, and it's gonna make more sense to you here in a couple minutes. So the Two of Wands card features the man standing on top of what looks like a castle, and in his right hand he holds a miniature globe. From the way he is standing, the man is looking down upon the vast terrain in which an ocean lies on the left-hand side, whilst the land stretches over on the right-hand side. The man is wearing an orange tunic and a red hat, symbolizing his enthusiasm towards life itself and hunger for adventure, respectively. The miniature globe in his hand represents potential for possible expansions of his reach to border life experiences. And maybe this is what you're doing, right? Maybe you are looking to expand your life, and you should, all right? Because the Two of Wands is a more mature version of the Ace of Wands, meaning that this tarot card is all about planning and moving forward progressively Look at it this way: you have already set out to achieve a particular task, which means you have turned an idea into a realistic plan. Such a plan will require fulfillment, and therefore you have to progress from just having the plan to actually achieving what you set out for. Okay? So that is for someone out there. Like I said, the next card we have here is the Hermit. All right, and the Hermit, obviously, it has to deal with spending time alone. This is a major arcana. So a major arcana is the 22 card set within the tarot that is considered to be the core and the foundation of the deck. All of the deck is filled with archetypal significances, but this is most pronounced within the major arcana. These cards follow a storyline that tells of spiritual travels taken from the innocent wonder of the Fool. That's the beginning of the major arcanas. All right, the Fool, taking the first steps, learning from our mistakes. So the Fool, to the oneness of the fulfillment of the world. In other words, these cards tell the story of humanity's spiritual evolution into enlightenment and individuation. Carl Jung, look that up. If you want to follow this channel, look at Carl Jung, learn more about him, because that's kind of the man that I listen to, even though he's dead. But hey, man, there's things to learn. So Carl Jung. And so the Hermit, again, I said it's about spending time alone, right? Because the card right before this is the Strength card. So obviously you have strength, or you're going to. You're looking for inner strength, bravery, compassion. Maybe you're focused. Sometimes we all have self-doubt. Maybe you have some of that. Maybe there's some insecurities. We all have those, okay? So anyways, the Hermit is about self-reflection. So there's a plan, right? Maybe there's something that you need to look within yourself about introspection, contemplation. Maybe you need to withdraw from friends and family and seek solitude to search for self. So the Hermit depicts an old man. And let me put this card up here so you understand what I'm talking about. I'm going to get new cards, so just bear with me, okay? So these are some old cards that I love that I've been using. As you can tell, they're very worn. So anyways, the Hermit depicts an old man standing alone at the peak of a mountain while holding a lantern in one of his hands and a staff on the other. The mountain denotes accomplishments, developments, and success. The Hermit tarot card refers to a level of spiritual knowledge that he attains, and that he is ready to impart the knowledge to everyone. There is also a deep commitment he has to his goals and a solid awareness of the path that he is taking. Inside the lantern, you will notice the star with 6 points, which also known as the Seal of Solomon. The symbol represents wisdom. The staff that he holds depicts authority and power. And maybe this is something that you need to work on for yourself. Nothing will change your life more than learning to love yourself, respect yourself, and carry yourself with respect. Trust me, I have learned how to do this, all right? I wasn't always this person. I wasn't always as strong, but life has a way of teaching us certain things by getting out of our comfort zone. Trust me, I had to do it. I had to get a handle on myself, and maybe this is what you're trying to do. So the Hermit is a seeker for the knowledge that comes from within. A lonely wanderer in the path of the night, he searches for that which can only be gained with long periods of solitude, the inner voice. To hear it, he must disconnect from the crowds whose voices and desires threaten to overcome his own. He walks through the dark night of his unconscious, guided only by the low light of the northern star, with his destination being his home, his self. And this is what you're being called to do, to spend time alone and seek the answers within you. Because you are currently contemplating that you need to be alone. Never be afraid to take this chance to reflect, as it could help you clear your mind of all the clutter that comes with everyday life. All right? So if you wake up early, like I do, between 3 and 5, pray to whatever you believe in. Get into spirituality, and spirituality is about learning about you. You are the most important thing in this world. No one else. No one else is going to love you, respect you as much as you will love and respect yourself. I had to learn that. Okay? Enough preaching, and let's get to the other card. So the other card is the Ace of Wands. All right, we kind of touched on this, right, with the Two of Wands, right? So the Ace of Wands is about a beginning, right? It's about fire, passion. So there's something here that you have a passion about, all right? You're inspired to do something, all right? So what we're going to do is the Ace of Wands. Again, it's a new beginning, but I'm going to put this card over here because this is kind of what we're going to be talking about. So you have some sort of a visual of what I'm talking about, all right? So the Ace of Wands, right? It's about, again, inspiration, creative, all right? There's something you're being creative about, all right? A new intuition, or you have an inclination of something, or a passion that you feel deep down inside that you should follow with enthusiasm. Okay, because wands are associated with fire energy, and the Ace of Wands is the core representation of fire within the deck. The card shows a hand that is sticking out of the clouds while holding the wand. When we look at the card, we could see that the hand is reaching out to offer the wand, which is still growing. Some of the leaves from the wand have sprouted, which is meant to represent spiritual and material balance and progress. Again, spirituality, you should get into it. Carl Jung. In the distance is the castle that symbolizes opportunities available in the future. Wands symbolize creativity, and the Ace of Wands is the boldest among the card in the suit. It is not the kind of creativity that you learn from school or as a hobby. It is bravely finding your own voice. Again, solitude, getting away from people, spending more time with yourself and nature. I love doing that. All right, because what you have to understand is everything and everyone is connected, from the trees to the sky, to the moon, to the sun, to you is connected. Everything is alive. Everything around you vibrates at a certain frequency. It creates a place where you can develop your own vision. In other words, it is associated with willpower and creativity in the cosmic sense. Do you understand what I'm putting down? When you draw the Ace of Wands, it is an indicator that you should just go for it. Take the chance to pursue an idea that you have in mind. Take the first step to start the creative project. The Ace of Wands calls out to you to follow your instincts. If you think that the project that you have been dreaming of is a good idea, then just go ahead and do it. All right. So the other thing we have here is the Pentacles. And the Pentacles, now I'm going to take these cards out of here, so just bear with me. The Pentacles is about having stability, nature, right? Like I said, maybe you need to start spending time out in nature, all right? I really love spending time in nature, or being around birds and trees and the wind and everything. Maybe I sound crazy, but hey man, it has helped me get away from the delusions of going to a building and praying to a certain you-know-what. You know what I mean? So the Pentacles is the suit of all things worldly and material. Though we will immediately think of the Pentacles as relating to financial matters, we also can understand them as being associated with security, stability, nature, your health, and prosperity. Maybe this is a call for you to look at all these within you or for you. The Pentacles are of the earth element. When we see Pentacles show up in the reading, they are usually concerned with your long-term future. And maybe this is what you need to contemplate. And maybe this is why you have to take a break from everyone and go away and seek solitude for this new beginning with the Ace of Wands. With your long-term future, career, generosity, your household, business, investments, and your feelings of sensuality. The negative side of the Pentacles show up as greed, jealousy, miserliness, and unbridled ambition at the cost of all else. All right? So the Nine of Pentacles, let's get to it. So it shows a woman, right? Like you see there. Maybe this woman is expecting a baby, perhaps. I don't know. To me, she kind of looks pregos, right? You know, maybe that's what it is. But anyways, it's about being generous. This is describing you. You're generous, caring, nurturing. So you might have to learn to get away from people. Invest more into you, into your health, into your stability. No one's going to pay you back for your generosity. No one's going to give a crap about you caring. Trust me, I had to learn that. Nurturing. People will take advantage of that. Nurture yourself. Maybe you are a homebody and maybe you do like spending time alone, and the Hermit is talking about you. Maybe you do have a good business sense. You're practical, you're welcoming, and all of these things you have to protect yourself from the world, because the world is full of evil people that would sell their mother to gain attention from people or belonging. A lot of people sell their soul to belong to a group. I don't. I like to be alone because most people are hell. Let's get back to the Queen of Pentacles here. This card depicts a beautiful woman sitting on a decorated throne holding a golden coin. So now I'm going to put this over here so you can see what I'm talking about. There's that golden coin and there's a woman sitting on her throne surrounded her but with beautiful blossoming trees and green floral gardens. You need to get to this type of atmosphere. Her throne is decorated with various beasts of the earth, tying her closely with nature and abundance. At the bottom of the card, on the right-hand side, is a rabbit, is pouncing into the frame, which symbolizes her high energy and fertility. The Queen of Pentacles therefore depicts a certain level of success and prosperity. But the rabbit at the bottom cautions us that we should be careful of where we leap when we are chasing that success. Hey, I can take this advice myself too. The Queen of Pentacles meaning. So the Queen of Pentacles represents both a down-to-earth woman who plays many roles to ensure that she keeps her family happy. She knows how and when to show love, keeping an orderly home, cooking, comforting meals, and takes care of the children. But do not mistake her for being only a homebody. Alongside all these motherly attributes, she can plan business ventures, and execute her plans successfully. It is though her talent, I should say, business sense, that she is surrounded by such luxury. She is quiet and does not like disclosing her financial accounts, fearing that it could bring more complexity to her life. And that is so true, which she desires to keep rather simple. She may have a secret bank account that nobody knows about, for she may choose to be careful and vigilant and self-sufficient. This is describing you, I believe. So I'm going to take this card over here. And the last card I'm going to talk about is the Ace of Pentacles. Again, you see this, you have to spend time alone. Going into nature will reset everything about how you feel, how everything is connected. Trust me, I had to do it. When I first got into spirituality, I did exactly this. And I would go to cemeteries. And the cemeteries, why? Because everything's green, taken care of, and lush, right? Because they always water the cemeteries. Anyways, that's where I used to go, and I need to go back to enjoy nature. Anyways, what it does, it gets you back to appreciating you and nature, and pray to whoever you believe in, So that's enough yapping. Let me get to the, the page. So the page, maybe you are a young person, maybe this is talking about a person who is in their 20s. It doesn't have to be. It can also be about being ambitious, and that kind of goes along with the Queen of Pentacles, right? You're diligent, right? You're a hard worker. You're goal-oriented, perhaps, and planner. So again, this is the overall energy for the cards. So there's getting to the beginning of the cards, which was the Two of Wands, right? The Two of Wands is about planning. You're goal-oriented. And then the Hermit, right? You need to get away from everyone to ground yourself, okay? Maybe you're a loyal person. Maybe you were a star student. You're faithful and dependable. This is the overall energy of all these cards, all right? With the Ace of Wands, the New Beginning, and the Queen of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles card depicts a youth standing all by himself. Get it? Stand by yourself. You're being called to stand by yourself, okay? In a wide field surrounded by flowers. And I'm going to put this right here. See the flowers at the bottom? Like I said, I am getting new cards, colorful cards, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. In the background, you will also notice several lush trees and furrowed fields. The young man seems to be walking in a slow manner and appears unaware of his surroundings, for his attention is completely captured by the coin he is holding and all that it represents: ambition, security, wealth, nature, and sensuality. The Page of Pentacles symbolizes a person who is grounded, loyal, diligent. When we meet the Page of Pentacles, we see immediately that she is one that is ambitious and focused. She is protected She's protected, nourished, provided for by this suit whose names she bears. Guided by it, she is deeply tied to the earth, nature, and all of its gifts. She cherishes her body, for it too is something which is a manifestation of her element, her diligence, ambition, and loyalty drives her to quickly make plans for the future, for it is there where her focus lies. So this video is calling for you to focus on your long-term goals. There's things that you need to change, right? There's things that you need to change here, all right? There's things that you need to look in the past because they're looking left, okay? So you're looking to your past to learn from your mistakes, spend time by yourself, all right? Be your own leader of discernment. And again, the star, you need to seek guidance from a higher power. Like I said, whoever you believe in, all right? Get back into you. Do not pour into other people because other people never pay off. All right. So again, after the hermit, you have a new beginning. So once you learn how to get into yourself and find the answer, you can start into this new beginning by the Ace of Wands here. And there you are. Or maybe the money will come pouring in, or maybe you'll be stable. However, make it fit into your story, okay? And again, the overall energy is about investing into yourself. No one else is worth your time, all right? Because no one is going to love you and respect you as much as you're going to do that for yourself. I stand alone. I love myself. I enjoy my own company. It is the most freeing experience because I really don't care what anybody else has to say or do about myself. People talk about me, start rumors, and guess what? I don't care because I have my eye on the prize and long-term goals and vision. And this is your call to get back to you, and I will see you in a later video.